More than 20 years ago, Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire were released, introducing the third generation of Pokémon. This version brings a lot of new Pokémons and a new life for many old Pokémons thanks to a new feature called Ability. All Pokémon possess at least one ability that varies for their personality and characteristics. Most of these abilities will make already useful Pokémon stronger, and weaker Pokémon will also be noticed because of their cool abilities. However, there are also cases of being assigned extremely stupid abilities that waste their inherent power and potential. And that's the topic we're going to talk about today. First, we can take a look at some of the abilities that only work outside of the battle, such as Run Away, which makes it easier to escape from wild Pokémon. Pickup will occasionally collect additional items, and Honey Gather will help you gather more honey. The main thing is that these abilities still work in some cases and mostly belong to low-level Pokémon that no one uses in a battle. What I want to mention here is that the abilities are worse than useless. Klutz. In battle, in addition to the moves, Pokémon also have two right-hand mods, ability and item. But this Klutz ability makes the Pokémon unable to use their equipment, like cutting off the left hand with the right hand. It's hard to understand why people make such a terrible ability with no good points in return. The only use of this ability is just to use Trick or Switcheroo to throw an opponent a useless item, or when the opponent throws it a disadvantage item, it will not be affected. Of course, the tactics mentioned above have very few cases that will happen, not to say in almost time. That ability Klutz is completely useless. Fortunately, Pokémon with Klutz all have other cool abilities to rely on. Stall. This ability makes your Pokémon always move last on each turn, in a world where speed is a huge advantage a Pokémon can have. Of course, there are moves that will be more effective if you act after your opponent, but can you bet your Pokémon can stay strong after being hit? Another point is this ability is exclusive to Sableye. In general, Sableye is inherently slow, and this Pokémon has another ability, Prankster. Everyone wants to use a Sableye with a Prankster because it's one of the best abilities a support Pokémon can have, allowing all effect moves to take priority. Emergency Exit. You probably still remember the team killing of Guzma's Golisopod in the Alola Region Championship Tournament. Golisopod is an incredibly powerful Pokémon, but it's held back by the terrible abilities it has. Wimpod and Golisopod will automatically retreat when its HP drops below 50%. You might think it's a free Pokémon swap anyway, but totally it's not free. With Golisopod's extremely low speed stat, it is certain that 9 over 10 times this passive will activate before the Golisopod moves in that turn. So, it's no different from changing Pokémon normally, and you can't control it. At first, I thought Golisopod was the Gyarados of the Alola region, trading hard training to reach the archivement of a weak Pokémon into a powerful monster. But the emergency exit took away that honor. Slow Start and Defeatist. These are two abilities designed in similar ways that they are two strong Pokémon, must have something to hold them back for the game balanced. Slow Start is an exclusive ability of the Titan god Regigigas, which will have attack and speed stats for the first 5 turns from when Regigigas is sent out, and will reset once it is withdrawn. And so even when Regigigas activated its true power, Regigigas could still be countered easily with a whirlwind move that forced it to retreat. This reset, I think the game maker should make Regigigas get rid of it, otherwise it will forever be the dumbest legendary Pokémon in this game. The other case is Archeops, an ancient Pokémon that takes the form of an ancient bird. Archeops has incredible attack power and speed, promising the ability to deal huge damage to opponents. However, it is restrained by the ability Defeatist. When its HP drops below half, it will also have its attack and speed stats, making it a completely useless and weak Pokémon. In a case like Golisopod, when it retreated and was sent out again, its stats were still strong, there was still the chance to flip the bet. But Archeops is not like that. People can heal it to return it to its original strongest state, but that is quite wasted time. It is better to use a more useful Pokémon and have many Pokémon like that. Truant. Slaking may look like a gorilla, but in fact it evolved from a sloth, and after evolution its lazy nature hasn't changed, it's just a bigger sloth. Slaking's power can terrify all enemies because it is very difficult to stand after taking one of its punches. In return for the incredible strength, Slaking has an ability that makes everyone feel very uncomfortable, which is Truant. Every time it uses a move, it will lie down for a turn after that. It's not that it's sleeping, playing or eating, it's just lying there without doing anything. What can you do with it? Punch it? Really? Maybe for Slaking, after defeating an opponent, it deserves this, but imagine you are its trainer. It will probably be extremely uncomfortable with that characteristic of this Pokémon. It is interesting that in addition to Slaking, there is another Pokémon that also has this ability, Truant, when found in Dream World, because only in it the ants will be lazy. And those are the worst abilities I've found on Pokémons. Did you find another? Share with me in the comment below.